Hey, what's going on? So I have a special message for you today, and really this is about flexible dieting. So where did this come into play and how did it enter my life? So the beginning of November, November 6th was my first physique show, and I dieted really hard for about 4 months, eating chicken breasts, egg whites, protein shakes, oatmeal, brown rice, and almonds, and avocado. That's pretty much what consisted of my diet. Now, looking back, it was very restrictive. When I would go out to eat with my friends and family, I'd have to bring my Tupperware or ask them to just get plain food, right? No seasoning, no salt, just straight grilled. It was really good. However, it's hard to think to really go back and live that type of lifestyle for the rest of my life. So enter flexible dieting. So flexible dieting has really to do with your particular need with your macronutrients. So what is a macro? So really a macro is just what food is really comprised of, which is all protein, carbs, and fats. So protein is 4 grams, right? Or sorry, 1 gram per 4 calories. Carbs is the same thing, 1 gram per 4 calories. And fat is 1 gram for 9 calories. So with this perspective of just counting your macronutrients, it really takes into account what foods are actually made of. And it actually really changes your perspective on the whole clean, dirty, I'm eating healthy or I'm eating unhealthy foods. Because the unfortunate thing is that all of that is somewhat of a misnomer. So imagine chicken pizza. What is it made of? Dough, sauce, cheese, and chicken, right? So chicken is protein. Cheese is largely fat. A little bit of protein, right? Sauce is, let's say, it's from tomatoes, which is carbs. And dough is flour, which is carbs, right? A burger, let's say to keep things simple, it's a bun, the meat, cheese, and let's say vegetables. So the bun is carbs, the meat patty is protein, fat. Let's say you threw on mayo, that's fat. And let's say you have a healthy meal, you have your Tupperware, you have chicken breasts, brown rice, and a side of almonds. Chicken is protein, brown rice is carbs, and almonds is fat. So if you look at food this way, you start to realize that all foods, are really just a combination of protein, carbs, and fats, which make up a particular macronutrient ratio, which is now what is called flexible dieting. So flexible dieting is really a lifelong, sustainable way of being able to enjoy the foods you want without having to live off of Tupperware. And what's especially big about it for me is when I was competing, I lived off of this. But now that I'm incorporating the flexible dieting method into my lifestyle, I'm really living off of this. So it really changes how you look at foods and what it's comprised of. So once you start incorporating this, it's really going to start teaching you how to live a particular lifestyle of really just being accountable to what it is you actually put into your mouth. So again, all right, round 2. So a couple different things. So love is in the details. Here is a couple tips and tricks to help you with your success when you start integrating flexible dieting into your life. So you should have already downloaded the MyFitnessPal, watched the first video on how to customize it to your macro needs. If you haven't gotten that from me yet, just hit me up. Okay, first one, meal frequency. So the great thing about flexible dieting is that it puts a less of an importance on meal frequency. Oh, I need to eat 3 meals a day with 2 snacks, or I need to eat 6 meals a day, small meals to boost my metabolism. What the most important thing is, you can fit this into your lifestyle just as long as you incorporate your macros. So what does this look like? So let's say you're given carbs, protein, and fat. For easy sake, we're gonna say 100 160. So divided into 4 meals, that looks like 25 per meal, 25 per meal, and 15 per meal. So if your lifestyle is easier eating 4 meals a day, by all means do that. If it's easier eating 3 meals a day with 2 snacks, do that. But the most important thing to remember is consistency. That's going to be your biggest challenge, but at the same time, I want it to be your biggest focus. Okay, so MPS, or maximizing protein synthesis, what that means is, what is the optimal amount that you need to focus on to maximize protein synthesis? Really, your muscles, when you work out, are also stimulated by food to grow at a maximum rate. So what this is found out to be is about 20 to 40 grams a meal. Now, does this mean that you need to hit this every single time? No, but this does place quite an importance on hitting this particular amount every single meal. That's why when you look at this one, 4 meals a day, you are having 25 grams. So every meal needs some type of protein. So you want to think about your needs in real life. So what are your indulgences that you want to have? You definitely want to look into fitting them into your macros, because let's be honest, we're human. We love what we love, but it's when you overindulge is when problems start arising, right? So here's a little tip when you go out to eat. If you're going out to eat with friends and family, stick to the foods you know. You want to err on the side of caution, as opposed to, let me try something new. I don't know what this is really made of, so I can't really account for it. Therefore, I fall off the wagon. So stick to what it is you know. The reason this is so important is because, let's say you're brand new and you haven't really been measuring things enough to really be able to eyeball it. So when you go out to eat, or when you go out with your friends, you don't have that ability yet, or that skill level to say, okay, this is how much is in it, so I'm gonna be able to know. Versus someone who's a little more skilled in weighing their foods. So imagine, let's say your need is 25 grams. So in protein, what this looks like is about 3.5 ounces of meat. If you haven't been weighing 3.5 ounces consistently every single day, every single meal for at least a couple of weeks, you aren't able to eyeball it. But if you have, you're going to be able to say, this is about 3 to 4 ounces of meat, or 4 to 5 ounces of meat. And that's where the next one comes into play, is overestimate. So meaning, let's say you think it's 3 or 4, put 4. Let's say you think it's 4 or 5, put 5. Why is this important? Because it's better to be on the lower side, or at least as close as you can in terms of your macros, than going over, right? It's always better to be under than over. Last but not least, you want to think protein first. So if you are having breakfast, you're having lunch, you're having dinner, you're having your snacks, you want to always hit your protein, because a couple benefits with protein is it actually takes your body more energy to break down, utilize, and absorb protein than any other macronutrient. So you want to think protein first, and then carbs or fat. All right? Peace.